John 6, Jesus feeds the 5,000. The Passover, a time of remembrance and hope, was drawing near. A great crowd followed Jesus to the shores of the Sea of Galilee, drawn by the signs they had seen him perform on the sick. Jesus went up on a mountainside and sat down with his disciples. Looking up, he saw the vast crowd coming toward him. He turned to Philip and asked, "Where shall we buy bread for these people to eat?" He asked this only to test him, for he already had in mind what he was going to do. Philip answered him, "It would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have just a single bite." Another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up. "Here is a boy with 5 small barley loaves and 2 small fish, but how far will they go among so many?" The task seemed impossible, the need too great for their small supply. Jesus said, "Have the people sit down." There was plenty of green grass in that place, and they sat down. The crowd was a sea of faces, about 5,000 men in all. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks, and distributed them to those who were seated. He did the same with the fish, giving as much as they wanted. It was an act of simple trust and profound power. When everyone had eaten their fill, he said to his disciples, "Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted." So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. The abundance that flowed from so little was a sign for all to see. After the people saw this miraculous sign that Jesus performed, they began to say, "Surely this is the prophet who is to come into the world." But Jesus, knowing that they intended to come and make him king by force, withdrew again to a mountain by himself. That evening, his disciples went down to the lake, where they got into a boat and set off across the lake for Capernaum. By now it was dark, and Jesus had not yet joined them. A strong wind was blowing, and the waters grew rough. The disciples were straining at the oars, caught in a struggle against the elements. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus approaching the boat, walking on the water, and they were terrified. But he called out to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." Then they were willing to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the shore where they were heading. The next day, the crowd that had stayed on the opposite shore of the lake realized that only one boat had been there, and that Jesus had not gotten into it with his disciples, but that they had gone away alone. Then some boats from Tiberias landed near the place where the people had eaten the bread after the Lord had given thanks. Once the crowd realized that neither Jesus nor his disciples were there, they got into the boats and went to Capernaum in search of him. When they found him on the other side of the lake, they asked him, "Rabbi, when did you get here?" Jesus answered, "Very truly, I tell you, you are looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and had your fill. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him God the Father has placed his seal of approval." "What must we do to do the works God requires?" they asked. Jesus answered, "The work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent." So they asked him, "What sign then will you give that we may see it and believe you? What will you do?" "Our ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness. As it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat." Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, it is not Moses who has given you the bread from heaven, but it is my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." "Sir," they said, "always give us this bread." Then Jesus declared, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. This bread is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world." Then the Jews began to argue sharply among themselves, "How can this man give us his flesh to eat?" His words were difficult, challenging their understanding. Jesus said to them, "Very truly I tell you, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise them up at the last day. For my flesh is real food, and my blood is real drink." This was a hard teaching. On hearing it, many of his disciples turned back and no longer followed him. "You do not want to leave too, do you?" Jesus asked the 12. Simon Peter answered him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. We have come to believe and to know that you are the Holy One of God. The miracles could fill a stomach for a day, but the bread of life, Jesus himself, offers sustenance that lasts forever. It's a promise not just of a filled life, but of eternal life. Where are we asking for just a little more bread when he is offering us himself? Thank you for joining us on this journey through John chapter 6. If this story has moved you, consider subscribing to our community for more cinematic Bible stories.